When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport, and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for getting your pod on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word. Oh, lots of things happening in the world. One of the things that we have to look at is the youth of America and when they're going to be taken over. And Kevin is very invested in youth hockey. I think sports are just one of the best things for kids to be part of because it's all about meritocracy, right? The better you are, the more you'll play, the better you almost become.
I just think of things I could buy without having youth sports in my life.
I'm sure. What do you think it could be? I can't even imagine.
A lot.
I can't even imagine what you spend on youth hockey.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
And the fact that these kids grow so quickly. I got to think that maybe you're buying a new size skate.
That's why Brady. That's why Brady has one skate from Sam when he was 6, one skate from Tyler when he was 9. He's just getting all the crap at this point.
But Kevin has brought in. Am I going to say the last name right? Let's see, Joe Occhino. Occhino. God dang it!
Close
to
enough.
2 C's. Sorry, Joe Occhino, who is you've been coaching youth sports for 20 plus years.
Yeah, I actually started as soon as I got out of college. I started coaching hockey. Kind of.
Did you play in Geneseo?
I played club hockey.
Did they have a team then?
They had a team,
yeah.
And when I got there as a freshman, I saw some advertisements for club hockey, and I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of see what this is all about."
Yeah.
Turned out the guy running it is one of my best friends now. Still,
that's great.
Lives in Jersey, so he was kind of starting it up himself there, and I played there. And then when I went home, I was kind of interested in. I wanted to start coaching a little bit.
Yeah.
So I saw an advertisement for a coaching position, and I called up, and I was more just inquiring, what do I need to do to coach?
Right.
And they kind of laid out some of the, oh, this is what you'd have to have. And I was like, great, that's awesome. I was not really interested in doing it. I just wanted to know what I needed so I could get started. And the following day they called me and were like, hey, you want to do it? And I was like, I kind of wanted to, but I was like, I'm right out of college. I was still looking for a job at that point.
Yeah.
And there was just a part of me that said, you know what, if you're going to do it someday, just go do it. Right. So I told them I would do it. It was high school kids, so not much younger than myself at the time. And
that probably made it really relatable for you.
It did.
Or you to them.
Yeah, it did. It was great. And I had no assistant coaches.
So they put you in as a head coach?
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're going in as an assistant to a program.
No.
They just threw you right into the man.
Yeah, I went and I had to get
right on the thin part of the ice. Hope you don't fall through, Joe.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I had to get my, got my certifications and stuff that I needed for USA Hockey. And we went from there. And it was actually, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
So is that the age group you've stayed at? Because what is Tyler's 14?
Tyler's 15.
He's
He's been with Tyler since Tyler was younger than Brady.
Yeah.
There was 8.
Oh, so you've done all ages.
Yeah. So that first year, I remember my very first game I coached was right at a rink that I used to work at in Buffalo. And I went in there and we got crushed. I got killed my first game.
Yeah.
And I remember driving home and I was like, well, either I'm in for a really long season and this is not going to be as fun as I thought, or maybe that's just the best team in the league. Let's hope for that. And it turned out it actually was the best team in the league. They were the best team in the league. And the whole season turned out to be great. I had a lot of super relationships with the kids. Like you said, the fact that it was close, like in age, they were always asking me, questions about college and this and that. And
where can I get the good beer cheap?
And it was awesome. I mean, it was super satisfying. And I from that point on, I was kind of like, man, maybe this is something that I want to do more of, whether it be working with kids or I mean, it was one of the reasons I went back for teaching.
Yeah.
Was because I
Are you a teacher now?
I'm a teacher. I'm not in the classroom right now.
Okay.
So, but it was like, I was like, man, it got me thinking that it was maybe a direction I wanted to go in life.
Yeah.
And I, that it was more fulfilling than I was doing an accounting job. So
what did you learn? What have you learned from the kids along the way? I mean, your job is to coach, but what have you learned from kids along the way? Anything? Yeah.
Well, it depends on which age group you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because I coach, so those are called midgets, the older kids. When you're 15 to 18 is midget hockey.
Okay.
So I coach midgets all the time in Buffalo. Then I came up to Rochester. My wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, lived here, and she had a job. She was a year older than me out of Geneseo.
Okay.
So I came up here,
Older
and
ladies.
She's a saint.
I actually went to get a coaching job up here before I even had an actual job, which probably is not a great choice, but I started coaching the midgets up here as well.
Okay.
And then after a couple years, the group that I had was kind of like graduating and like moving on.
Yeah.
And we were getting ready to start a family. So I was like, I know myself, like I'm super, super loyal. And I was like, if I start with a fresh group of kids, it's going to be super hard for me to walk away.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, most of the kids that I had coached, they were graduating and we were getting ready to start a family. So I was like, I'm going to take a break. So I took a break for a little while. And then once my son started up at and then like mini mites, that's when I went back.
You went right back in.
Yeah. And I coached that group like all the way up. But I'm an older kid for over the little kids. Little kids are tough.
Yeah.
Much more of a older kid type of coach.
But he's got a dynamic with this team that you don't normally see with youth sports. Like the core of this team that he's got, that Tyler's on, they've been together since they were 8. So they've played together for most of the team has been together for 7, almost 8 years. And you don't usually, at some point, somebody gets pissed off somewhere and is like, I'm going over here. My kid's going to be a pro, so I'm going to go over here. He hasn't had that. He's had the same core team.
Yeah.
That he's just grown with.
Yeah. I mean, we've had one or two that have gone different ways, but we do have, we have a group, I'd say 50 to 60% that have been together for a real long time, and I coach my daughter's team as well. And
what's better?
What
in terms of coaching, what's harder, the boys or girls? I would think at the different ages. I'm serious. I think it would be harder to coach little boys. Let's say, I don't know, how old was Tyler when he started, or Sam when he started?
They were both, Sam was 6 and
Okay.
Tyler was 7.
So give me 6 or 7-year-old boys versus 6 or 7-year-old girls. And I think little boys are all over the place trying to bang into each other, do this. And I think little girls will actually listen to you.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if that changes later on.
But the boys are just funny.
But it sure as hell seems like it
The
does.
boys are just funny at that point, though, because it's standard 6, 7-year-old boy fart jokes.
Yeah.
But every team that you have with the boys, inevitably the little groups, there's always one kid that's just like a nightmare. You're just like,
his name is Tyler.
No, he wasn't. But like, you're just trying to run drills or trying to set something up, and he's just like tripping people for no reason, just no reason, and you're just like, oh man, like it's hard because the boys are all over. The girls they're better listeners.
That's what I mean. I think
they are
would
better
be.
listeners, but they are also.
Have you gotten into girl drama yet, though, with that? Because I know Livy's about that age where the boys start coming into the plays. You got any girl drama on that team?
I mean, they're a little more reserved with their like emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
Or I think sometimes they're more eager to share it with each other than they are with coaches, right? Like we've had games like in the last, few years where like, the dads will be talking afterward and we're like, oh man, that was a tough loss. And like, I'm like, I don't even know if the girls cared. And then like, they'll be like, some of the moms will be texting each other about how upset the girls were in the car, right? And they're like, oh, she was beating herself up over this. And you're just like, wow, like they don't show it the same way that boys do, right?
Right.
I think boys are more eager to, scream, slam their stick, just, show that they're really upset. And the girls maybe not so much, but they actually are, you know what I mean? They just, I guess they show it in different ways.
That's interesting. But you've been doing this for 20 years, correct? About that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that time, what's changed with the kids? Have the kids changed as they come through? I hear different things from coaches now that say it's not, the kid is different. But you've had the same kids, so maybe they're not.
I have. I mean, I think the technology stuff obviously has changed the way kids are, right? That's. I think attention spans are definitely shorter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at this point, like if the kids aren't entertained every couple seconds, it becomes an issue. So I think that part's changed. I think the seriousness, or not the seriousness, the way the games are approached, like right now, like every sport wants their sport to be year round.
Yeah.
And they want every player to be fully committed like all the time. And that's, that becomes, I think that's a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like now there's really no off seasons to anything unless they make it. Like I kind of go out of my way to not to do that. Right. You know what I mean? I'll have the teams get together a little bit over the summer, but and some people may say, well, you're not doing everything to make your team as strong as they can. But I realistically, I say this all the time. I don't think I'm ever going to leave a game in December that I lost 3-2 and be like,
God damn, if we only got together on August 23rd,
that's right.
That would have made all the difference.
If I had two more summer sessions, if I made people cancel their summer vacations, we would have won. So, I mean, like I said, we'll have some summer ices or some, a lot of times it's even the off ice stuff that the kids, they enjoy a ton, right? Like they get to be kids and not listen to coach and just run around and have fun doing summer stuff. And I think there's a lot of team building and stuff in that too.
Yeah. Have the parents changed over 20 years? Has it gotten worse with parents?
Yeah, Kevin.
I'm the quiet one.
Just speak for yourself.
I'm
Kevin.
the quiet one. I stand by myself.
Maybe he's become the quiet one, maybe a little bit. No, there's always parents that are crazy. I mean, listen, it comes down to,
well, you're investing a lot of money, and I think they feel like you work for them. Maybe I'm wrong.
And they think their kid's going to go professional.
Sure.
Little Johnny sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is part of it, right? The money and the time.
Yeah.
Right?
The time.
Like I did not realize both of my parents have passed away, but like, I did not realize until I became an adult what it's like to work a job, come home, have to take care of the house, and then every night run out to, whatever sport it is. And this isn't just hockey. This is all of them, right? Like it's, and as you get older, you get tired, it's exhausting, right? Yeah. And like, if there's one thing I could ever, say to my dad, and because my mom didn't drive, it was all on my dad.
Wow. This is some old school stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, what is, how are we saying it? Occhino?
Occhino.
Is that Italian?
Yeah.
Oh, off the boat Italian?
My father wasn't. His father was.
Yeah. But I never. Very few women people don't drive.
Yeah. So she had her license. She would. The only time she would drive would be like 6 a.m. She wants to go to the store.
Yeah.
Right. And nobody's ever around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it all fell on my dad, but like that amount of commitment is, so I think that's
part of what also influences parents.
Correct. Yeah, right. Yeah. They're so vested, whether it be financially or time wise. Plus everyone wants the best for their kid.
Yeah.
But it's always been crazy. I mean, I remember when my brother played high school. So I got 3 older brothers. The youngest of the older played hockey, and we were at leisure rinks and for a high school game, and there was like a brawl, and like one of the moms jumped on the ice. She jumped on the ice and was like fighting a kid, and I was just like, I mean, it was pandemonium.
So maybe it's it's hockey parents, Kevin. Maybe it's not just parents.
I can't say that some of the moms on Tyler's team have not been close to that. The only time I got thrown out of a game by the referee was because I was sitting with the moms.
Oh,
yeah. Only time I've been thrown out.
What was it? Just a group thing? Were you opening your trap? Or
I was looking down to one of the dads that was standing below me, and I said something to him. The ref thought I was talking to him.
Oh.
And the moms were flapping and flapping and flapping, and they pointed at me and go.
So just you had to leave?
Just me.
Oh.
Yeah, we've had that a few times.
With Kevin?
No.
Oh.
Just with hockey parents.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. I mean, my son plays baseball, and I've been at baseball fields, and you're just like, oh, man, some of these people are just, and
it's a good show.
Oh, I bet.
It's fun to sit back and just watch parents sometimes be parents. And it's never really the superstar kid whose parents are flapping. It's always little Jimmy who sucks. He's out in the outfield chasing butterflies, and his parents are bitching and complaining because he's not playing first base and this and that, and he's picking his ass and chasing butterflies and pulling grass.
Well, and there's just that perspective on, I mean, like you said, I say this all the time. For me, I pay the money for my kids to play sports because there's a lot of lessons that they can learn there. I mean, I'm a sports nut, right?
Yeah.
I've followed them ever since I was a kid. Stats, I love that stuff. And it's like the kids. I lost my train of thought.
No, but well, what I was thinking too is because Danny always says it's the greatest sports. Oh, I have Danny down.
It's a meritocracy.
Yeah, it's the greatest.
It's the one place where like either you're good or you don't play because everything's based on wins and losses, right? If you don't win, you're out. If you don't, it's a competition. It's a competition for position. It's a competition to win games all the way up. It's a competition.
Danny loves sports, but was
awful at it.
Yeah, was awful at it. But I don't think you have to be good at sports to appreciate and see what value it brings.
Yeah, and those different lessons that you can learn from it, right? You know what I mean? And there's there's a ton of them to be had, right? And it's my kid's not going to get it if he's sitting at home not doing that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do you find any differences between
keeps him out of trouble too?
Yeah, for
idle
sure.
time, man.
Like boys play more team sports, girls do more individual stuff like gymnastics and whatnot. Do you notice any differences between coaching either of them? Was one harder to coach than the other because boys are more geared towards team sports for the most part, and girls are more geared towards individual accolades? Do you find that, or is that not a thing?
I mean, the team part of it is right. Like there's like you're not only trying to perform your best for yourself, but you should have a role on your team. And as you get older, those things become a little more defined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like when maybe when you're younger, maybe not so much, but in an individual sport, like it's on you, right?
Yeah.
Like you got no one else to blame.
Wait, Danny, are you saying that girls are better at individual sports than team sports?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like a lot of times, like parents might be more, well, they're all crazy, but I think boys grow up being part of a team sooner rather than girls. Girls come up in gymnastics, they come up in other like more individualized sports, and then eventually play team sports. Where boys are playing team sports, it's like like to start bodybuilding at 3. Right, you're playing like a team sport. You're playing soccer. You're playing hockey.
He's just pissed. Best. Every time they've gone to play putt, Best kicked his ass.
She has
because she was an individual.
No, I see what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But I think
it's changed a little bit. I think
I do, and I'm not. So I got 2 daughters, but they're both into baseball and hockey too. But I mean, we know plenty of people that do the gymnastics and the cheering and stuff, and I think that's all geared towards team now too.
Yeah, I think
cool.
the gymnastics or the cheer is definitely team.
Maybe not when we
That's
were
all.
growing up,
Yeah.
like it was dance and
Yeah, I mean, I
That type
still
of
think
stuff.
they. I mean, I certainly wouldn't quote
Did they
me.
try to get you into dance too?
no. Dude, if I could,
He
if I,
just did that fancy dancing on the reservation.
I had a hard time like sitting the bench.
My daughter
Then it
did
was a big square dancer.
my middle
We had square
daughter.
dancing.
My middle daughter did dance for one session. She's like, Dad, I want to do dance. Mom,
Yeah.
I want to do dance. And I
Right.
was like, I don't know the first thing, right?
Yeah.
So we like sign her up, and they're like, well, they start off in like ballet and ballet and something else, right? And like after, I think my daughter thought she was going to go in and just like start, hip hop music and dancing. Like she did it like 3 times. She's like, I'm out. I said, you're not out. You're going to finish the session because you sign up for something, you finish it. And we went to the dance recital. We bought the DVD. I don't think we've ever watched it. And she's out. She never went back. She thought she was just jumping into like, she was going to be clubbing dancing at 8 years old. I was
That's
like,
funny. No. That's very funny. We'll take a moment. We'll do a little more with Coach Occhino, who is a Genesee grad, and I don't know if this is true or not. Kevin says it's legendary.
I was in a fraternity. We had a lot of fun.
Okay.
They still do some stuff for me.
All right. We will get to all that right after this.
If there's a goal that everyone remembers, it was back in old 72. We all squeezed the stick and we all pulled the trigger, and all I remember is sitting beside you. You said you didn't give a fuck about hockey. I never saw someone say that before. You held my hand.
Gord Downey is Harry Sinden's godson.
The Tragically Hip Fireworks hockey songs tonight.
Harry Sinden was the GM of the Boston Bruins for years.
Look
So,
at that.
You got this kid growing up in Kingston, Ontario. Everybody's either rooting for the Leafs or the Canadiens, and he's a Boston Bruins
Well, you
fan.
got to stick to your family.
Mm-hmm.
Blood is thicker than water, Dan. That's what I was told. I don't know. That's the Tragically Hip, because Kevin's kid plays a lot of hockey. Like, it's summer.
Too much.
Yeah, it's a lot of hockey. And Joe, how are you ever home? Occhino, you ever get just as, is there ever a day that you just get to go, nothing to do today?
So it depends on the season. This season, I've actually, my son and my daughter have practice on the same night, which makes it tricky. So sometimes I'm going rink to rink. Sometimes there's conflicts and I necessarily can't make it to one.
Yeah.
But I have, I got great assistant coaches and I just communicate and we make sure that we can cover them both. So then,
Wait, you're coaching both your son and your daughter's team?
yes.
Is that what you were trying to say?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant just running them to the same practice.
No.
I didn't.
Coaching them both. And then my youngest daughter practices on the other 2 days. So I will usually bring her to one of those. And then I let my wife, I don't let her. I shouldn't. She takes her on one of the days and I just stay home.
Okay.
And then Fridays are, sometimes we have hockey, and then every weekend it's 2 to 3 games. But then last year I had it every day but Friday.
Really?
I coached
So
every single day.
Friday was your Thursday night. Must have been blow off night.
No. Friday was, man, I got nothing to do. I'm super pumped. I'm going to do something. And then you get home and you're just like,
Yeah.
It breaks up a little bit this year for him, so he's not double hitting coaching 2 teams.
That's freaking
He gets a
crazy.
break for about 3 months now for high school. He's
Where does the love
off.
of hockey come from? You grew up in Buffalo. You're a Sabres fan, right?
I am a Sabres fan, unfortunately, but yes. My youngest older brother started playing. So I just grew up in an ice rink, right? My first few years, right before I started playing, I just grew up in the ice rink. So I was just there, he played on 3 teams. So, I was just there all the time, and then I wanted to start playing. Right. So I picked it up and played, and I loved it. But it's a love of sports. I've just always loved the competition. I'm still that way. I try and tell my son all the time. I'm like, I just enjoy competing. Right. You know what I mean? I tell him, I'm like, I'm terrible at bowling, but if I'm at the bowling alley with my buddy, I'll bet him on a game. And I'm like, when I line up at the lane, I feel like I'm the greatest bowler in the world. I'm convinced I'm going to win. Right.
Yeah.
But
His brother coaches a girls team. Have you beaten Tommy yet?
No, my brother's team right now is top 5 in the country.
Really?
Yeah. So he's coaching.
How the hell is that?
Well, Buffalo's hockey market is much bigger than Rochester.
Sure.
We're just way bigger. And
is that where he's coaching?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He coaches out of Buffalo. He started coaching the junior Sabres. They just added the girls teams this year. So hockey in Buffalo is a whole different animal. And then you go to Canada and it's a whole different animal than it is Danny,
you never played?
No.
Any interest in playing as a kid?
I want to. My father swore no. It's too expensive. Nope.
Well, it's expensive and a lot of time commitment. That
And you'd be getting up at 5 a.m. going to practice in Fredonia, which is a half hour away.
Where? For Fredonia?
Yeah. So I grew up in Silver Creek. So
Okay.
it would be like going to Steel Hall at 6 o'clock in the morning for practice.
Yeah.
or whatever, or at 9 o'clock at night. My father used to work at a steel plant in Dunkirk, and he was like, yeah, I hear my peers bitching about their kids. You're not playing hockey.
I'm not doing it.
Because Little League's free. You pay $20, you sell $30 worth of candy, you're good.
Yeah.
Hockey, it's all self-funded.
Well, hockey is, it's amazing, but
It's it's no more expensive than anything else at this point. I mean, dance, travel soccer, travel baseball.
And the way the sports are today.
Well, it's cheaper. Well, it's more expensive than doing nothing.
Yes.
But he's right.
Yes, that's true.
But you still got a $500 PlayStation you got to buy to do nothing.
But Kevin's right. I mean, sports have gotten that way that like enough people have seen, I hate to say it this way, but they've seen dollar signs in it, right? And they know people will pay just about anything for their kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've had a discussion with a father of young guys. Like I'm saying somewhere between 7, 9, maybe a little bit younger. And that there's like an elite team and you want to get your kid on the elite team and the elite team costs more money. So it's not like the kid's better to get on the elite team. It's almost like you've got deeper pockets to be able to pay it. And that seems a little disingenuous to me. Now, maybe they're better coaches. I don't know. But just at the face value, I would be a little tentative before I pulled the trigger on that.
You hear all the time there's politics in sports and there's a certain part of it. Like I've always tried to, I tell the parents all the time, like I will be as honest as I possibly can. You know what I mean? Like I think a coach's job is to put a kid in the best situation for them to succeed.
Yeah.
Right. And that means a lot of things, right? Like again, not every kid has the same ability level. And some parents don't want to recognize that. Some of them can't seem to recognize it, but it makes a big difference. Like here's a quick example of a few years ago, my one son's baseball team, someone had said something to the coach, like, is every kid going to get to play the infield, right? Or get to play like shortstop or something. And, realistically, I mean, he was kind of like, how do you say it, right? Like not every kid's cut out to be there.
Right.
So the one game he actually put some kids that had never played out there and
it showed.
It showed.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like, in addition to, the errors, it's also, I mean, there's a safety concern too. Like if you're not a great fielder and you're going to be fielding rocket off, ground balls
right
at 11,
you're going to crack that orbit around your eye.
Sure. And to be honest, I felt bad because I didn't coach the baseball. Like I've helped out, but it's like my time off because hockey season's over.
Yeah.
But like I felt bad because I'm like, this kid was put in a spot that we all knew he wasn't going to succeed there. Right. But like, everyone wanted equal. And I was, it's stuff like that you're kind of like, it's difficult to balance all of that as a coach, right?
Well,
and you have to kind of consider it all.
I'm a big believer in one of the things in today's world with the constant diet of social media that you're never putting that genie back in the bottle. So the only thing you can really do to help your kid out is build self-esteem. And I think self-esteem is not, hey, Johnny, you're great.
Mhm.
Hey, you're so good. No, it's when they get a good grade, man, how good did that feel? Let's do that again and build it up. And so you get the confidence that you can. And I think sports is a great thing for that, but not if you're in the wrong position where you're getting blown by and then you hate it and then you suck and you're down on yourself and the other kids see it and they're making fun. It could go right into shit. And that's where, honestly, I mean, look, I always love to look at the draft class, go to pro sports. Coaching matters big time. And coaching is so much more than just drawing up the plays. It's knowing the players, being able to read the players, seeing the kid whose head's down today and is up normally and what's going on. And I got to think I've never done it, but I'm thinking it's so much more. And I always look at, Josh Allen comes out and we hear about Josh Allen's not accurate. We picked the wrong Josh. We did all this stuff. Sam Darnold's so much better. Sam Darnold's on his 4th or 5th team.
Yeah.
Granted, he's in a system that seems to fit him right now, but coaching is so important. It's just so important.
Yeah.
I guess at every level.
Yeah, I mean, you see stuff like, I mean, there's times, and it's hard because we were talking about this on the way here a little bit, where people will pick an example of something and be like, well, look at
Yeah,
here. And
right.
like, you can always find that one example, right? But like, so there's situations where you're like, they'll change coaches and nothing switches.
Right.
But then you see something like the Chargers this year,
Yes.
all of a sudden everywhere that guy goes, they win and they turn it around.
All right. So that's interesting.
They turn it around so fast.
Harbaugh seems to be a guy that, boy, he brings him in. Like, they buy into him. They like him. He was talking about guys I think he was on one of them, might have been CBS NFL today. I don't know. It was last week. And he goes, I love that guy. I love that guy. And then he's like, well, I love all the guys. But these guys, they'll run through walls for him, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, you need that kind of buy-in, right?
Yeah.
And I thought this was going to be a big challenge for him, right? Like he took over a team that for the last, 6-7 years is
underperformed for sure.
Terribly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think anybody looks at his team right now and is like, wow, they're just loaded with talent.
No,
right? Receiver, running back. They got some okay guys that are coming off injuries, but I mean, they're a force this year. They're really good.
It's funny, Danny, I read an article today about Josh Allen and that somebody went back and watched the tape. Might have been Joe Biscaglia.
Joe Biscaglia? Okay.
Yeah, Biscaglia. He went back and watched the tape, and he said this was a great game for Josh Allen, even with the 2 interceptions. He goes, the way this guy is making reads and processing so quickly, seeing Hollins as your 4th option and getting it out that quickly and seeing, where defenses are and being able to read the defense and how, some of the picks aren't exactly his fault. I mean, Joe is a Seattle Seahawks fan. I think that was the first interception. I think, what does he have? 3 interceptions this season?
Yes.
That's way down from, where he's been. And he was going through just saying, like, the processing speed of Josh Allen is amazing and how he's able to see things so quickly and read where the defender is. And, sometimes put it, if a guy doesn't get it, he doesn't get it. But the pick in Seattle was Amari Cooper slipping.
He slipped, right?
Yeah.
And the second pick was a deflection. I mean, yeah.
They're going without Josh Allen. That team is nothing.
Well, they're nothing. They're nothing. The thing about Josh Allen is that his stats, his numbers aren't that good this year.
Right. That's what he's saying.
That's not the point. The point is that he's playing more like Tom Brady.
You got it.
In other words, all right, you're gonna
Eddie.
okay, I'm just gonna dink and dunk you to death.
Yeah.
And then when I have to, I'll beat you with my legs or I'll beat you with a bullet pass.
Yep.
He's saving his arsenal. He's not like, all right, I'm going all out every single pass.
And that's what he used to do.
Right.
But I think that's coaching. I really do.
For sure. They had that game. I forget who it was earlier in the year. Oh, Miami. Like he threw the ball like 15 or 18 times or something. But it's like,
yeah,
if they're not going to stop the run,
they had a lot of short fields to work with because like Tua gave him the ball 4 times.
Yeah,
that helps. So he didn't have to work as hard. But then there's a game last year where against Dallas, right? Okay, big matchup, 4:00, right? And they just ran all over Dallas. He goes, yeah, I feel like the guy showed up at the project and got an A and didn't do anything.
Yeah,
he didn't have to.
But
that's what you want.
Yeah, that is good coaching though.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Brilliant at the basics.
Unfortunately, he's a Patriots fan, but I think Belichick was always great at that, right?
Well, I think once you get that confidence in the coach a smart coach is harder on the team when they win and not as hard when they lose, or at least that's what I've read. Again, I always want to say I've never done it. So
yeah,
I don't, but it is some things when you look at it and you watch, even with the Bills, it's like you've built that confidence in that guy that even when there is a pick, head's not down, looking at the tablet to see what went wrong, but very much in the moment of what's happening right now.
And I think it's knowing the guy, right?
Yeah.
Knowing the guy, knowing the kids. I mean, kids come from, obviously all different backgrounds,
sure,
family settings.
Yep.
And there's some kids that you can, their dad's like, you get on them, you chew them out. And then there's other ones that you're just like, you learn like, you get on him hard and he's shutting down.
Right.
Get it.
Right.
Right. So you better find a different method
right
to motivate or try and demonstrate what you're trying to get them to do than just, whatever it is, whether it be yelling or demonstrations on a board. The last few years I've tried to use a bunch of video clips more because I think kids
So they do. That's what they did, Jess.
Correct.
All the
That's
time.
what, and they're a little more, and when I'm drawing it on a board
Yeah.
versus when they can see an actual example of them or their peers, right? They're like, oh, they get super excited. Here's Billy coming up and look at what he did. You know what I mean? So I think that and the visual, right? Sometimes you're trying to explain it to them in the middle of a game. And,
it just doesn't work.
You got all sorts of things going on and you got the board and you're trying to demonstrate and they just came off the ice. So they're huffing and puffing. And I'm like, how much is this kid really zoned in on what message you're trying to get through?
Yeah.
How
important at that age are things like diet? I mean, I got to think it's pretty important, but I don't know how you rein it in.
Only one bowl of Cocoa Puffs.
Their kids. Well, Danny, I got to tell you this. So I have a 14-year-old son. He is around somewhere. He went. So the other day,
ice cream and wings at Damien's.
Very well could be. So I have been doing some substitute teaching during the day. Just with him living with me, I went, oh boy, I got it. My grocery bill went, this bill went. I was like, what? Oh. So instead of putting more pressure here, I'll do this. I got the time. So but I can't get to him, right? So he comes here and they let him into the studio. But yesterday was the dollar store, and here comes a boatload of candy, and within a half hour, the watermelon gummies, the Mike and Ike's, a bag of Cheetos, and something else are devoured. And the kid is 6'1". He's 14 years old. We go home and he's like, oh, I'm really tired. Yeah, you crashed. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's one of these things where I don't want to be up your ass and I'm not with you, but I got to find a way to try to steer you. I always say at this age, I'd rather be a matador. Instead of yelling at you like, dude, God damn it, why are you eating all the candy? Of course you're going to crash. Like my parents would have done. It's more like, hey, man, why don't we come over here? I bet you feel a little bit better. Try this, try that. That's sort of my method because it seems to be what works better with youth today. I don't know.
Well, I think it's tough because as kids, right? Like they don't necessarily think that
whatever
way.
Tastes good.
Correct. I mean, I get on my son about similar type stuff. The bigger reason I tell him I'm getting on him is because I'm like, like I said, he's active. Tyler's super active. I mean, these kids are running around. They burn off all.
Yes, sure.
But I'm like, you're also setting yourself up for some bad habits, right?
Yes.
I mean,
there'll be a time when you're sitting and it's not running.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or you just don't burn it off.
That's what I mean.
Right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The last couple months, I mean, Kevin will tell you, I've actually lost a bunch of weight, like a lot of weight. But I mean, I went through 3 or 4 years of just.
Are you sick?
No, no, I actually.
I know you weren't because I would have come out already.
Yeah.
That's why I felt like I could say that.
No,
I told you how he lost part of the weight.
No.
Yeah, I told you he had an app and he was betting on himself.
Oh yes.
Oh, that
I love this app. Go, but keep going.
Well, I did the app first, like I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 years ago, right? And
wait, they had the app then?
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
So I did it. Maybe it was less. Maybe it was 6. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I wanted to lose weight.
Yeah.
So I put this $500-$600 bet on how much. So you have to pick how much you're going to lose
and in what time frame, right?
Yeah, but there's limitations, right? They don't want people like starving themselves, right? So it's unhealthy, right? So I think I put like 30 pounds in or 35 pounds in like 6 months.
Okay. All right. So that's a little healthier.
Yeah.
Because Danny did a different diet, but structured.
Yeah, 30 pounds in 7 weeks.
Yeah. So for me, it's not hard to lose weight.
By the way, we all bet against Danny, and he proved us all wrong.
Yes.
I would have bet on you.
Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate that.
So I lost like 30 pounds in like a month and a half. Like it was just off. All I did was eat better and exercise more.
Yeah.
Right. But when I did it with the app, I kind of, once I got there, I was like, oh, I won. Now I just got to like maintain it. Right.
Yeah.
So I maintained it, got my payout, which I was excited about. And then I kind of just let all the habits start to slip.
Yeah.
Right. And then I went through like 3 or 4 years with just super bad, terrible habits. Right. And I put it all back on and I I went to the doctor, which I hadn't been for a while, and like I got some really bad blood work, and I was like, I got to change this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you do, because you want to be around.
Correct.
Right.
And yeah, so I was like, well, it's time to do it again. And then there's a part of me that's like, I should place the bet again, right? Because they email me all the time to do it. But I'm like, no, I'm not.
Have you gotten chubby yet? We need another bet.
But I was like, I'm not doing the bet this time. I got to do it because I want to do it. You know what I mean? And it was the same thing. I was a little nervous because I know I'm older, right? And I'm like, what if I can't lose the weight the way I'm supposed to, you know?
Right.
And he wanted to put me on a medicine, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to try and just do it.
Yeah.
Which I did, and the weight came right off again. But I try and tell my son, right? Because I was pretty honest with my kids, right? Because now all of a sudden, Dad's always making them like giant pizzas, and we're doing all this. I'm like, I'm not going to be doing that anymore, right? Not nearly as much. So like for my son, I'm like, man, you know, like I don't want you to have these same type of habits.
Yeah.
That I had, right? Like eating late at night. You know what I mean?
That's a bad one for me.
It's
terrible one for me.
It's like it's like an addiction, right?
Well,
like you're not even like hungry. Like I'll be sitting there, I'm like, I want something to eat. I'm like,
yeah.
you're
Or
not even
sometimes
hungry.
I'm tired.
Mhm.
So in order to keep going, crackers and cheese, you know, bread, more chips, whatever's easy and quick. And I put on a ton of weight. I've been really on myself, same thing, quietly, to just try to let's get this back down.
Yeah.
I'm up, record highs for me.
Yeah, I like I said, it worked for me. Thankfully, I dropped a ton. I just went back like 2 weeks ago.
What's the betting app? I remember seeing this on TV last year around New Year's, and it was where you would put down money on yourself like you did.
Yeah.
And the same type of thing. And I forget the names of the app. I had never seen it until honestly last year, but they started doing ads on TV. I'm sure the app was around well before that.
Yeah. I'll look in between sections. I could see if I could find it because they do send me emails. But like I had to weigh myself. You have to weigh yourself and video it and like do it like a full like spin around thing so they can, see it, and then it gets verified, and then you have to do the same thing.
So when you bet, do they double the bet? What's the total amount you win?
I think mine was a little bit more than double.
A little more than double. So
yeah.
if you put 600, you're up around 14.
Yeah, something like that. But it varies depending on your degree of how much you're going to lose, and I guess how fast. So when you lost your weight, what was it? Just diet and exercise?
Yeah, it wasn't even exercise. It was a special strict diet.
See, I don't do the diet thing. I mean, I just eat way less.
Yeah,
I eat way better.
Yeah,
and then I started exercising again, which is, I mean, I got this giant elliptical in my basement. I'm just like, there's no reason why I can't get on here. It becomes 40 minutes a day, right? Like at 20-minute sections, I do it. Sometimes I get on there 3 times, but I'm like, there's no reason. Like if I'm sitting down when the kids go to bed to watch a hockey game, like how hard is it for 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing it, so it's obviously hard enough that I didn't do it for a long time.
Right.
I would love to see the stats on that app though, as to how many are successful, and how many lose their money.
I bet you that it would be slightly higher because you got skin in the game of people winning. I'm sure there's losers, but I would think it's only because you're invested. And do they email you throughout or put reminders in? Hey, no,
I don't remember them doing that. I know there was
be
2
losing on their end if they did.
There was 2 different types. There was one where it's just like a singular bet, and then there's other ones where there was like I think a big prize pool.
Okay,
and you can join that with other people, and like if you're successful, like you get a piece of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
A little parlay.
Yeah.
Lower your blood sugar, lower your cholesterol.
When I did it, I think I did it with, I had like 2 or 3 other guys that I had skated with that were, that I got to do it with me. And the one guy, I think he bowed out in like a week. He was just like, and then the other guy he was pretty close, but then like the last week he started like UFC weight cutting because it was close. Like he was really close, and he was like, I remember he told me, he's like, I I probably was not doing healthy things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just not eating and like sweating it all out just to get that video of him weighing in. But you didn't add any exercise into it, or
No,
just
no, they recommended that you didn't do any exercise because like your body was you're only down to like 900 calories a day. So and
sure,
a third of them had to be healthy fats and oils.
It's
So
the name of his new band,
the
Danny
healthy
and the Healthy
fats.
Fats.
So what happened was you're only really eating 600 calories a day.
yeah.
So it was I don't want to say it was a starvation diet, but I mean it was along those lines. They gave you like vitamins and drops to take and all this other stuff, but for 30 days, this is all you ate.
I saw something. Kevin James was on I think the Rogan podcast, and he said he went like 41 days without eating.
What?
Yeah, and then Russell Okung, he used to offensive lineman. I think he went like 42 or something. And I was
Without eating? So just water. Right? Or coffee.
And mineral salts.
Mineral salts.
Yeah, he said something about the salts, which I didn't know. I was just like, that's crazy. Like I said, I cut down a bunch and I eat way cleaner.
Kevin James isn't as funny without the fat.
I tell my friends all the time that Fat Joe was a lot more fun than Skinny Joe is.
All right, we'll take a moment. When we come back, there's a game in Buffalo. I don't know if you're aware of it this weekend. CBS is coming and the whole thing.
Yeah, I heard about these people.
And Taylor will be there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well,
okay.
She's got our concert in Toronto Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I heard.
The Bandits are opening their season?
Huh?
The Buffalo Bandits are opening their season?
They're opening their season. So we'll
World Championship.
We'll talk a little of that, but
Kevin said he's going to get his family some tickets to that Taylor concert, I think, right?
oh
Yeah,
is that what you're going to do?
absolutely.
You better go to the First Bank of Connors. We'll take a moment, but first.
That's how all the people came for their local hockey team. Those days are still around.
This is a song by a band called the Zambonis, and it's called Bob Marley and the Hartford Whalers.
Some of the Mighty Mighty Boss Dogs.
Yeah.
Do they weave the brass bonanza into this
I
song?
don't think so.
That's the Hartford Whalers theme song. They used to play in a mall. They had a rink in a mall. That's why they eventually pulled up stakes and left.
There it is. They have left town. There it is. That's funny.
Did they go to Arizona?
No,
No.
they went to Carolina.
Oh, that's right. They went to Carolina. Okay.
What was the name of that betting app if you want to bet on your weight again?
Healthy wage.
Healthy wage. Healthy wage. Healthy wage. Healthy fats. We got all the healthy stuff going on right now.
I saw a guy talking about having low T today, and how this company came and tested out his testosterone, like did a blood test, and now how you can like get testosterone therapy and stuff like that. But it's like, oh, he's talking about having low T. I'm like, I would never admit that, even if I had it. I don't know if it's because leading to an endorsement or something like that.
Yeah.
But I also know the guy's a vegetarian. I'm like, that might be part of the problem.
It could be.
Bro, I love you, but
could be.
eat some steak.
Your meat needs some meat.
Yeah.
you gotta exercise too. Exercise increases your testosterone.
Yeah.
You got some low T.
What is this exercise you speak of?
Well, I don't.
It's funny. You know what I just bought? I just bought like for like when I'm working, one of those pedals that you put on the floor. You just pedal along while you're working.
Come on.
I'm serious. I
see that on. I see that on like
do. Love it.
on the R News.
Yes, I know.
channel.
Well,
Fantastic.
good. I can't wait to
Yeah,
see what
'cause
you
it keeps-
think. How
And
it
it's,
works.
and it's all old people in the commercial.
Okay, I want to see how.
But look,
how
I
it works.
like sitting is the new smoking. They say. I don't know if that's true.
No, I would think that it's damn close.
You know, I mean, we weren't
We're
made to just
sedentary.
sit on our butts all day like God did in the 60s. Okay, you guys are all going to have office jobs,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You're going to file paperwork and be on computers. No, we were out hunting and doing stuff, and now that's changed in America. We're getting sloppy. So
Yes.
I decided to stay active while I'm working. Best of both worlds.
Does it register? I mean, it registers.
Yeah,
all
it
your
registers
steps and
your
everything?
distance, your calories. Although I think the calories are a little off.
Can you get pressure on the like? What kind of? You can't sit in a chair with wheels because you'd be pushing yourself.
Oh
back.
no, that's the cool thing about it. So they got this strap, right? So you're strapped in. You put the strap underneath the pedal board, and then you wrap it around the back of the chair. So now, no matter how hard, like you're Fred Flintstoning,
Yeah.
you can't go anywhere.
Did you get the enhanced model that has the quiet sound so your coworkers don't know?
Danny,
you're-
we need
No.
video. We need video of this that we can put on social media to see Danny's.
Okay.
Yeah.
My wife
You
tried it
actually
last night.
You have to strap yourself into.
Well, because I'm thinking you would push back.
You have to
off
no,
the
you
chair.
strap the chair
So
around.
you got to
it.
strap.
You're
the
not
chair
strapping
around
yourself.
so it stays with you.
Yeah.
And you're sort of anchored there.
My wife tried it last night. She goes, "I'm too short." Like she can't. So
Well, you could
her
probably
feet,
move it
like if she sits
closer.
on the couch, her feet can't hit the ground. She's too short.
He's gonna bring it in and start doing it on the show.
Okay. I'd
You know
love,
what? I could do that.
love to see it when he gets
Can we
himself.
start-
No, I don't think it'll work because this is too low.
Can we start a challenge and see how many steps he can get in one day? I mean, if he just does it, work
Nonstop.
the show.
I mean, that's a
See-
pain in the ass. I've tried going for like an hour and a half. I'm like, okay, that's enough. You know,
All right, but how far did you get in an hour and a half?
I don't know what the distance was.
Now, if I do a
Halfway to Syracuse.
if I do a spin class in an hour, you're around 15 miles, 16 miles for me. That
Okay.
doesn't mean that. I don't know. So some people could be doing double, triple that. I have no idea. But
But I don't think they're not like bike pedals. They're not as a wide of a pedal.
It's almost like an elliptical.
It's just like, yeah, you just but it's like much shorter strides, but
Okay.
you're still doing. Oh yeah,
I mean, you're moving, right?
yeah,
I guess
exactly.
what
That's
it
the
comes
idea.
down to is
They say
you're moving.
shivering
Where did you
and
get this?
fidgeting will actually help you lose weight. Believe it or not,
where did you get this from?
I got it on Amazon.
All
It
right.
was real cheap. I had to put it together myself
Did you do it
because the other ones are
backwards?
like worth over $100. And my wife sees it. She goes, "Oh, well, I was going to get you that for Christmas, so I'll just scratch that off the list." I go, "I'm taking care of myself now. That's not going to help me at Christmas. I need help now."
Yeah,
I'll
we
be
got
healthy
a
now.
holiday in between there called Thanksgiving that we eat
Right.
a lot.
I got to burn. I got to
So-
budget my calories.
What do you got?
Research indicates that on average, participants burn 400 to 600 calories in a 40-minute workout in a spin class. The distance depends on cadence. However, an estimated average 40-minute class at a cadence of 80 to 110 RPM is the equivalent to 15 to 20 miles on the road.
Yeah,
So you're right in that.
yeah, right.
You're right in that
The
average.
thing about
right
spin
now.
classes though is that you're going uphill, downhill. You're
Yeah.
doing all like this.
Yeah.
You're just like
Yeah, you go. Well, yeah, but it's movement.
It is.
That's not. That's not bad.
Mhm.
I mean, it gets the clots.
Yeah.
You know.
The,
keep
the funny, the funny thing, my aunt with her bad leg just bought one of those too.
Did she really? Shut up.
on Amazon.
That's great. Well, I can't wait I want video. I think we should do the whole thing following Dan. I think it'd be great.
All right.
It's exercise, right?
It's exercise.
Look, Jimmy Kimmel lost a ton of weight from a walking desk. It was a treadmill on a desk.
I have one of those too.
What?
The problem is that it's very hard to like
what you
work.
should do.
It is. It's a pain in the neck.
Track your mileage and take Route 66 and see how long it takes to get Route 66. One of my teachers from high school does that on a treadmill challenge.
Really?
He's walked from Maine to tip of California.
Yeah.
He's done the Appalachian Trail.
What a great teaching tool with kids. Like
But it just gives him, shows what he's doing, and
right.
it's, giving him a sense of
I'm getting
something
motivated
to do.
over here. I'm going to get myself back in shape. I'm getting sexy.
Oh,
again.
get ripped, baby.
Motivated.
That's it's going to be Danny. Motivated.
Joe's barbecue foot massage.
All right, Danny, real quick, and we'll let Joe weigh in too. And I don't know if Kevin has thoughts on this game or not, but the Chiefs and the Bills, this is for pretty much all the marbles. And it was interesting because I think I am guilty of saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are a very lucky team because they blocked the punt and all that stuff.
It's funny.
And then I got a video sent to me from one Greg Connors, and it was Pat McAfee breaking down the
special teams,
the stance and how bad it was on this one guy.
Anymore by Greg.
And he goes, "It's terrible."
He specifically told us not to share it with you.
No, he
I'm just joking.
I'm not loved. I didn't come Sunday.
That's gonna help Kevin burn calories. By the way, he's gonna get so mad it's just gonna start.
No, I'm out of the loop. I didn't come on Sunday. So
stop.
Greg's like, he's out.
So he was saying like they're so good at the little things. Like they practiced the little things, and they could see this guy's footwork, his stance, his head's still down.
They knew exactly when to attack on the field goal.
He knew exactly when to attack on the field goal, and they practiced those fine-tuned things,
fundamentals.
Not to bring up,
but even that's really heavy, fine-tuned stuff.
And it's the Belichick coaching. Not to bring up a sore subject. That's what they practiced that interception. They had that in there, ran it all week in the Super Bowl when they picked off Russell Wilson.
Oh, that hurts.
They practiced that.
Yeah,
Malcolm
and
Butler,
said that was going to come up sometime during the game.
But I mean, Belichick's done it a number of times where he'll find some specific thing they're just waiting for, right?
Yeah.
Right. Whether it be a rule, like a loophole in the rules, or something that a team does.
He was the one having linebackers jump the line on blocking field goals, jumping over the line to get in there and block it until they outlawed that.
Then last year, before he got fired, he ran a special teams play where he had 10 guys on the line to block the field goal. One guy running in motion, getting a head start, and then he takes it off and blocks the field goal. I
mean, it's amazing what you can pick up, but that's a lot of study.
But
I mean,
years of experience. I mean, you're talking to Andy Reid with the Chiefs, right? So this is years.
There's so much
found a
stuff.
loophole in Denver's special teams.
He needs your pedal, sitting pedal.
So-
What do they call it? Is it the sitting pedal?
I don't even know what it's called. I just that looks cool. I'll get one of those.
But there's so much video. I mean, there's so many different football teams from high school to the pros where somebody's always running something that may work.
Yes,
in this
at a different level,
or in this
level.
situation.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not like it's just a matter of who do you know and what film are you watching?
Well, that, and I do think that the coaching on those fundamentals or those little things like, hey, look for this, get the head up, blocking, knowing when to jump, all that stuff is critical. And I got to tell you, I think everybody, if we all could have a coach in just life, you'd be better.
Yeah.
You can't try it. Exercise with a coach, then exercise without a coach. It's night and day.
I think if the Bills end up losing this weekend, it's probably going to be because of coaching. Like I really think I've made this argument before. I think coaching, if we're looking at a football perspective, I think obviously talent matters.
Yes,
but coaching matters too.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, I've said this and people get on me. Belichick is a great coach. I'm never going to take that away. 99% of his major success was with Tom Brady.
Yes.
Andy Reid, I've made this argument. I'm more impressed with what he has done over the years. He's done it with multiple quarterbacks in multiple cities, and he's always successful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty incredible. That was my big thing when the Broncos went after Sean Payton, right? Like Sean Payton he had Drew Brees in New Orleans. I think there's a lot of people that could have been successful with Drew Brees. Not everybody, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Brees retired, he's kind of like,
I'm out.
yeah, like, oh, this isn't going so well. I'm going to take a break. I was like, what? So I don't know. I think Andy Reid's one of the best, if not the best coach.
So, since you bring it up, talk to me about Russell Wilson. Super Bowl winner in Seattle. Certainly got an astronomical contract when he went to Denver. Things didn't go as well. And now we're starting to see some of the flashes of the old Russell in a Steelers uniform. The moon ball, as they call it, but it's a beautiful pass. It drops right in the breadbasket. I don't know what,
I think that first year in Denver, I think everything was just off. I think his attitude that he brings a little bit of, like he had his
Just
own
unlimited.
office. Yeah.
Well, he was bigger than the team.
Correct.
That was the whole thing.
he-
I'm Russell Wilson, and I'm here to save you.
Yeah.
A franchise that's won Super Bowls in the past.
But even his last year in Denver under Peyton, his numbers weren't bad.
No,
Like,
they weren't.
They really that first year, it was just a complete and total train wreck. And to be honest, he didn't look good. And I was like, man, maybe he is washed, right?
Yeah.
But the next year with Peyton, his numbers were okay. I mean, the team wasn't great, but his numbers were okay. And he's looked, as much as I really, really don't like the Steelers, but the couple games he's played, I watch a lot of football.
I think there's two undefeated quarterbacks right now in the NFL. One of them is Patrick Mahomes at 9-0, and I think the other one is Russell Wilson.
It is Russell
in the
Wilson.
3 games he's
And there
played.
was a lot of controversy on whether or not Mike Tomlin, who's gotten a lot of flack over the years, the guy's a hell of a coach. He's never had a sub 500 season in Pittsburgh, never. And he brings in Russell. He's like, no, I'm going to start Russell Wilson. Oh, you're not going to start the other kid.
Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields. He's winning. No, I'm going to start my guy because Russell Wilson. I mean, the guy's been humble. He wasn't going to come to Pittsburgh and be the man. He's like, hey, look, you're on a 1-year prove it deal. Can you do it? And he's like, okay. So he's making like the league minimum because he's still getting paid by Denver. He's making the league minimum right now, and he has actually played good football. I mean, they brought in Mike Williams. The Jets get rid of him. He comes to he walks into Pittsburgh and catches the game-winning touchdown against Washington. So they're playing well.
I think people forget too that we don't see what goes on day to day in practices, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And I think a good coach, and Tomlin is a good coach, and I respect him a lot because, like you said, they always win. I think he recognized, like, yeah, we're 6-2, but we're 6-2 mostly because of our defense, right?
Yeah.
Like Fields is making a couple plays on his feet, and I mean, Fields only had like 7 touchdown passes in 6 games. That's not good. Like, you may be winning, but it's not.
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't. It was the defense. Pittsburgh. You could argue that Pittsburgh, or the Chargers, or the Chiefs have the best defense in the NFL. And you can put the Bills in that category too. In the second half, both of those teams have only allowed 1 touchdown in the second half of every game all season on average.
That's crazy.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's interesting though with this game coming up.
Well, who do you like?
Sandy, I like the Chiefs.
What?
I like the Chiefs. Well, here's why. I mean, I hate it. I hope I'm wrong.
Let me have that fucking
Okay,
Fitbit. I need to see what's happening with my heart.
That means you trust my judgment.
No, I don't like the answer.
But you don't like the answer because you think I might be right. So you
No.
trust my judgment.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I hate it too. I don't like being right all the time either. But
like
so my friend Jeff Chadia from NFL Network texted me this. I used to have him on my show when I had a show. And he goes, if the Bills don't have Cooper, Coleman, and Kincaid, we know they won't have Coleman. He goes, this will be the third team Kansas City has faced that was down at least 3 key receivers. 49ers and Bucks were the others. Crazy. I'm like, holy cow, he's right.
But
So
Cooper will be back,
that
though.
plays into, I hope he is. He didn't, I mean, today they did a walkthrough and he was limited in a walkthrough today. Okay. Now, the thing you have to consider, though, it plays into your theory that Kansas City has been a little bit luckier than good.
Yes.
Because, they face some pretty good teams, but they face them without their full arsenal of weapons.
Right.
But that's the NFL. Here's the other thing. This game that everyone's gearing up for, like it's like, it's the end of the world. Okay. If the Bills win this game, Okay, now you still have 2 losses. Kansas City only has 1. Kansas City would have to lose another game, and the Bills would have to win out for the Bills to get home field advantage. Because if they lose one more, now they got to take a backseat to Baltimore, who beat them earlier this season. If the Bills lose on Sunday, well, they're going to win the division. So now it's a matter of, okay, the second game, odds are you're playing on the road. So that's what this game's about. This game is not, they'd have to go a lot.
Well, there's some implications.
There are some implications, but it's not as it's win and then hope that Kansas City screws up the rest of the year, and so does Baltimore, and that you win out. Oh, by the way, you still have to play the Niners, the Giants, and the Chargers, who are pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
So you're asking a lot. So while this game is huge, if they go out and win, okay, great. You got to keep winning. You can't just okay, we're going to lay an egg against. You can't. There's no eggs.
No.
Laying. Sure the Giants are good.
I know he didn't mean
Chargers.
Well, you said you threw the Giants in there.
I didn't say
you have 3 teams that they have to face. Are they playing the Giants?
I said the Lions, the 49ers, and the Chargers.
You did say the Giants.
You said Giants.
I don't know why I said
you said Giants instead of Lions.
We thought you were drinking.
You said the Giants instead of Lions.
Yeah, but the Lions are really good.
Yes.
Jericho threw 5 picks on the road Sunday night. They won.
I know, but that was a bizarre game. That
both ways.
Bizarre game. There was 4 picks in the third quarter on between the 2 guys, 2 quarterbacks.
And you got to play New England twice.
You do. And by the way, divisional rivals aren't like gimmies.
No, they're not.
Oh, you got to play the Jets
too. Defense is pretty good.
All right, so you're picking the Chiefs.
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs.
Let me go to a guy who's bets on these things.
I think I'm actually picking the Bills.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Kansas City, like I said, they're a good team. Their defense is good.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bills defense has been playing really well. I think being at home will help.
Yeah.
And I think I said something to you before about when the Bills lost Stephon Diggs. I wasn't that worried. I just think there's certain quarterbacks that I'm not sure. I mean, Mahomes has kind of been this too. I'm not sure if the weapons matter a ton.
No Pacheco this weekend either. He's not playing, they said.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I'm just not sure how much the weapons matter. I mean, when I watch Allen with Shakir, now I would be really concerned if Shakir wasn't there. Like that seems they have a connection that seems like really, really impressive. I don't know. I just the Chiefs they're catching a ton of breaks. They make plays. They make plays when they have to. They do
behind the back.
But I think the Bills are just as good as they are, and I think being at home, I think the Chiefs are due for.
What, are they 1.5 point favorites?
Buffalo's 1.5.
Buffalo's 1.5.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
it's fluctuated from 2.5 to 1.5.
Yeah, and you get 3 points for playing at home.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, even if they have Cooper, right? Even if they have Amari Cooper, Amari Cooper's played 1 whole game in the Bills uniform. So I mean,
but he looked good in a couple.
I mean, if Kincaid's there and Cooper's there, okay,
yeah,
okay. But if you're losing 1 or 2 of those guys, now you got to rely on Shakir.
Hollis,
Dawson Knox.
Hollis, I liked. Hollis had some plays. Got a 16-yard first down, third. Come on, Danny.
Matt Collins had a couple nice plays.
Was it Collins or Hollins?
Mac Hollins.
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 Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple. Josh improved on. Those are improv throws, and he caught the ball. Fantastic. I wish he could have done that against Houston. He did, but good. He's getting better. But yeah, I mean, you're asking a lot. And oh, by the way, the Bills have this tendency, like they've praised Bobby Babich, the defensive coordinator, for doing this. Hey, we're going to see what the offense and the other team puts out there for the first half, and then we're going to adjust. Okay. But if they put up like Baltimore did 21, you want to adjust to the KC defense?
You gotta,
Well, you're on offense too. It's going to be hard. I mean, I hope the Bills win.
Kevin?
The line's currently at 2 on DraftKings.
Okay.
Kansas City's getting 2. I think for Danny, for our friend Greg, I've been pretty consistent in my picks this year of whoever I'm picking, the other team wins.
Yeah.
So I think for Greg and for Dan, I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover.
Well, good.
All right. We'll take a moment. We have a closest to the pin. We haven't played in a long time.
All
And
right.
the reason is Occhino says he wins every time.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not every time. I think I'm pretty good.
He's willing to put money. He's willing to put money on it.
It's different when you do it into a microphone.
And I do have a question. I
can see that.
about something that happened in Canandaigua on the beautiful Finger Lake of Canandaigua Lake.
Oh, okay.
I can't make sense of this, but we'll get to that all after this. Dropkick Murphys. Time to go. Another hockey song. They're just yelling about hockey. That's who it is. Hockey.
It's like half a theme that too with you tonight.
I know. So I see a story locally that a man is recovering after he inadvertently drove into Canandaigua Lake and had to swim to safety. So I'm going,
How far did the GPS take him?
okay, a lot of questions here, right? Because there's a boat ramp. You could go down that
Turn
into
left.
it.
I think he just went off the dock.
Yeah. He's 19 at 1:45 in the morning. He had stopped his vehicle on the pier to rest, is what they say. He stopped his vehicle on the pier to rest. Well, the pier that they were showing, it looks like it's not even wide enough for a car. I don't know how you get out there. I don't know if this is a dare. It was 1:25 a.m. Excuse me. I think I said 1:45. 1:25 on a Tuesday morning. So I naturally 1:25 a.m. car ends up in the lake. I'm thinking drugs or alcohol. They are saying drugs and alcohol did not have a factor in the incident.
Okay, whose kid is he?
I don't fucking know. Okay.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Whose
but
kid is he?
It's like,
Did he have some sort of like a medical emergency?
Did he have a medical alert? bracelet?
okay. All right. Now that's something
But
I
it
didn't
still
think
doesn't
of.
explain that he
He
took the
stopped his
car out
vehicle on the
there.
pier to rest and drove into the water while making a U-turn.
Yeah, you got
Where
to
the fuck
you
are
got to
you
concentrate
turning?
on piers.
Yes,
you can't
that part
bang you.
scared me. I was like, maybe if he went to rest and like fell asleep.
I don't
or
know.
something,
Yeah,
but
woke up
If
and
you're making a U-turn,
you're making a U-turn. Like he drove out there. I gotta think there's more to this story. There has to be. You were fucking around. Maybe you were stone cold sober, but you and your buddies on a dare. We're gonna try this. I don't know.
You know who's probably got information for you off the record would probably be our friend across the street because all those agencies they talk.
Well, FLCC is right down there, right? Finger Lakes Community College is down along there, and I'm wondering, and they have dorms.
Yeah.
So I'm going. This is a FLCC kid fucking around, and I want to know what happened. Only because I want to laugh at you.
Yeah, right.
But so he got ticketed for. Driver was ticketed for. Ready for this? Moving from a lane unsafely. And I think he has to pay because they needed like a crane to get in there and pull it out.
Well, wait till the
And I
DEC gets involved and they
Okay,
fine him for
that's-
polluting the lake.
I was wondering what that fine is. There is got to be something with the EPA, right? Or
EPA, not
DEC,
EPA,
EPA,
or-
DEC, something. But what's that?
So car goes in.
Yes,
He gets out and
swims. Yeah,
Like how far does anyone?
It was
know?
not far from
not
the pier.
far, not far.
Probably
But
from here to the
maybe a quarter mile.
not even.
That's a lot.
The way I saw it was
It is a lot. You're right, but I mean, it's one of those that
That's more than
this
that's
is-
like 2-3 pool lengths.
just one
Quarter mile.
kid, just one kid was in there.
That's what they're saying.
It
So,
was right-
so
it
that
was
takes
right near,
out
like,
my
the
theory
ramp,
of,
I
hey,
think.
watch this. Oh, I don't know who's waiting on the shore, Joe. Somebody's watching it.
People were running.
There's a Snapchat somewhere. There's a Snapchat somewhere that's got this kid driving into the lake. Don't you think? No? Danny says no. I think there is. I think there's no
Well, I
way
mean,
you're not filming. At 19, you film everything.
Or I mean,
The reason as to why though. Why what's the payoff?
well, there's a lot of college kids that do things with no
Why payoff.
but
Right now, we just did a whole thing last night on the door kick challenge, which Jameson says is not something. And I did. It's called the door kick game, where people run up to a door instead of ding dong ditch. They kick the door as hard as they can and then run away. And it was happening around the country in different spots. And some guy put a trip wire And this one kid gets caught in the tripwire. And then he comes out and they go, and there was an assault filed, but the video is cut off.
So basically,
This guy went out and beat the shit out of the guy.
Basically, this
That's
car,
not
he
the-
went into the marina. It's
That's
kind of like
not
where
the pier, though, right?
No, it's like the marina where like Cole's boat.
Okay,
They
okay.
parked the boat.
Okay, all right.
But
that
still.
makes way more sense.
So he drove
though.
the dock.
Drove the dock. Yes.
But the part that, I mean,
Was he running for Senate in Massachusetts? Was there a pregnant lady in the car with him?
Yeah, that's what I thought. He drove the docks.
And he just climbed. I'm assuming he just climbed up the dock.
Yeah.
but the part, I mean, the like, I think there has to be something. I mean,
Yes,
he's
you know
completely
better.
by himself.
There's no road out there.
No, and by yourself.
Yes, he's not by himself. I'm telling
There
you.
had to be.
I'm telling you, there's a
I would
TikTok
think.
or a Snapchat is
And
what I'm
it's
thinking.
a Subaru, so those things drive at anything.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. They'll run forever. I'll give you that. That's a good thing.
Just a little water damage. Just a little water damage.
It'll be listed on one of those car sites tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, the Carfax stuff is great, but man, you get a flooded car, that could be some bad stuff. Usually, they don't recover from that.
No,
You know,
No.
all your
you
stuff.
get a fish in the exhaust. It's over.
Well, I mean, I'm not a car guy, but I know a lot of it's electrical now, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it'll short
Electronical.
short it out.
Electronicals?
Electronicals will short out. That's for sure. Yeah, and especially if I don't think it was, but an electric car, you know, try to replace a battery in an electric car.
Yeah,
You're
costs as
anywhere
much
from
as a car.
12
I
to
still want to
20,000.
know an electric car, like in a flood or anything like that. Are you? Is it like tossing a toaster into the bathtub?
Good question.
I don't know the answer to that. I've never seen anything to answer that. Oh, like I've read a lot about the cars, never saw anything like that. That's a great question because, you know, I've driven people have Teslas. If they drive in the rain, I see what you're saying though. Let the water rise up.
You got the EV out there. I don't
Yeah.
think Carl will mind if you pop it into the canal real quick.
No, not at all.
Is
The water, they're lowering the water level right now, so
Well,
it's
they
easy
can't
to
with
see
it.
and get it out.
We got to place our bets as to what they're going to find.
Who was the guy that was driving? He was part of the crew. He dropped his daughter off at crew or something, and he's driving in and he sees the top of a Jeep and he calls 911. Didn't we have him
Yeah, we
on?
had that story.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
Well,
name.
I think we had him on. And because when they lowered the level and no one, like, it was reported missing, but no one saw.
until the water went down.
Yeah, the entry into the canal.
They find all
like,
sorts of
brushed
shit in the canal,
down.
like-
Yeah, but there's brush. So it could have.
Snowmobiles.
There is
out
a
in your
current
crock pot, all
there.
that
There is
stuff.
a strong undertow. So I would assume maybe it pushed the vehicle a little bit if it landed upright and it's rolling along. I don't know.
We got to place our bets because they're dropping it. I think in the next couple weeks.
What?
What they're going to find?
Oh, yeah, it looked like they were starting to lower it now. The water level looked a little lower to me. I don't know if they are, but usually
It's usually around
around
this
now, November, right? They go November to what is it? There are certain roads that are
around May.
closed from November. Isn't the bridge back open over the
Raleigh
bay?
Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From now
To
until
get to
what?
West-
April
April
1st?
1st.
Yeah. So,
Well, the good news is we have kids that are going to start driving soon. So I tried to explain to my son, I'm like, that's a great example. That's why car insurance for
yeah, for
teenage
idiots
boys
is so high.
so expensive because
Is exactly why. It's
Well,
statistics, and you
Tell me
are
about it.
part
I
of the
just-
problem.
Just had to renew and it was not pretty.
And you are part of the problem.
Not
All
me. Not me.
All right, we ready
Kenny,
for
Kenny, Connecticut is the issue.
Kenny, Connecticut. Closest to the pin. We haven't played this in a while.
No.
All right.
The term
Excited.
e-bug means emergency backup goalie. It's typically an everyday individual who has past goaltending experience, and each team is required to have one in the building for both teams to use if needed in a game.
Really?
How many times since 2016 has an e-bug seen action in an NHL game?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're usually
so so you got to be like a neutral player, right? Because you got to play. For
there was
either
a guy.
team.
They had a game a couple years ago in Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
He actually came in,
This
played
is fantastic.
most of the second period and the whole third period.
For the visiting team, not the
And
Leafs.
played for Carolina, and they beat Toronto.
And they beat Toronto.
2016.
yes,
Since 2016, how many times has it happened? Okay, I don't know.
boasting 4 stages, 6 bars, which can accommodate up to almost 2,000 people, at an estimated cost of $20 million to build. Kid Rock's big ass honky tonk rock and roll steakhouse opened in October of what year? In
Is
Nashville.
that the one in Nashville?
The one in
that he's
Nashville
been
he's
kicked
getting kicked out of.
It has. It's
Twice.
that big.
Twice. Oh, yeah, it's huge.
I thought it was on the strip.
It's like three. It is on the strip.
Oh, but it's 3 floors.
3 floors.
Yeah.
Oh.
I believe it's 4.
What year did it open?
What year did it open?
4. My mistake. 4.
Okay. Kid Rock. I don't know.
Including live albums. How many albums has John Hyatt released?
This is so unfair.
You better win this one.
I
You better get this question right.
may not, including live albums.
Including live.
How many albums has he released?
Correct.
Jeez. I'm really guessing at this. We're all in the same boat. By the way, John, have you ever even heard of John Hyatt?
It's Joe.
Or Joe, I'm sorry.
No.
Have you ever heard of See, I knew it. That's okay.
Joe is a big Seahawks fan who is constantly reminding me that Marshawn Lynch should have been given the handoff at the end of Super Bowl 49. How many wins, including regular season and playoffs, do the Seahawks have all time through week 10 of this season?
Oh, how many wins all time?
All time, including regular season and playoffs. This is the gut buster right here. This is the one that separates the winners from the losers.
Wins all time. I don't know. All time. It's such a hard one. Because I'm thinking, who was the Largent played for them?
Steve Largent.
Steve
Yeah.
Largent.
Steve Largent. Didn't he go into politics after?
Yeah, he became the senator from Oklahoma.
Including playoffs. so.
Including playoffs.
All time. I don't even know what year they came into the league.
77.
That's cheating. That's cheating. You should not have told me that, Mr. Barillo.
Tampa Bay and Seattle came into the NFL the same year as expansion teams. Back in those days, they didn't have an expansion draft. They had to pick players from scratch.
They did. So they got
Yeah.
whatever was left.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sucks.
which is why they weren't very good.
Sheriff Baxter was like the starting center.
All right. I've just put down a ridiculous number.
Joe is also a Buffalo guy known for formerly liking his wings and Huggy Bombs. What
Huggy
year
Bombs.
was the city of Buffalo incorporated as a city? Yes, Joe will explain to you what a Huggy Bomb is as well. You've had a couple of them.
They're disgusting. They're
Look
disgusting.
at you. Why?
Who said they're disgusting?
I said they're
did.
disgusting. Ugh.
Danny.
If we're thinking about the same thing.
All right. Well,
I
we'll
mean-
find out. I don't know. I don't think I know the term.
You've had a Huggy Bomb.
I'm sure I did. Yes, I have with you. Yes,
You have.
but I don't.
Billy Joel was announced for the JMA Wireless Dome in Syracuse for the 8th time in April. Joe was one of the first ones to jump in and say, we got to go because it's on his bucket list. How many times has Billy Joel played MSG between his first show in 1978 and his last one in July of 2024?
When was the first one? 78?
78.
I don't know. Doing terrible at this game today.
All right, we'll go back to the top.
Okay, back to the
There are
top.
only
How
6
many-
questions.
Yep, only 6. Closest to the pin. How many times has an E-Bog got into the action in an NHL game since 2016?
I want to say 4 times.
I said 2 times.
I said 2.
It is 6.
Oh, Danny.
6 times.
All right.
What year did Kid Rock open? Kid Rock's big ass honky tonk rock and roll steakhouse.
I have no idea.
2016.
I said 2018.
I said 2015.
2018 is in the hole.
Yeah. Oh, erase that 4 I had and bring me back to 0, baby.
How many albums, including live, has John Tennessee Plates Hyatt
All right,
released?
I wrote down a number that I was going to write down 32, and I thought that's way too high. There's no way. So I wrote 16.
I wrote 17.
24.
26.
Damn, Joe! Look
24
at you. Doesn't even know the
studio.
guy's name.
24 studio and 2 live since
Ah.
1974.
So-
How many was it? 26?
26.
Word for you, I've never heard of him. Believe it or not. I don't know why.
Well,
It sucks.
yeah, because he. Well, that could be. That could be. To me, no. But
There's no Jeff Healy.
Well, Jeff Healy. Well, Angel Eyes is
Yes.
John Hyatt's song.
Yeah.
And Jeff Healy made it famous, right? And Roadhouse.
Let's give the blind guy one.
Yeah. He made it a hit in the 80s. He made it a hit.
How
So
many
it's too young.
wins all time through week 10 of this season do the Seahawks have, including regular
You got
season
it, Joe.
and playoffs?
What do you say?
I went 380.
I said 376.
I wrote 200.
413.
Oh,
Wow.
well, I just lost it right
396 in the regular season. They've got 17 in the playoffs.
there. Wow. So what did you say?
380.
They were at
33 off.
413.
413. Ooh. I'm 213 off. 223 is my score now, even with the in the hole.
What
Eh.
year was Buffalo incorporated
Joe may be
as
right.
a
He might be
city?
the best.
What? I have no idea.
1803.
I said 1816. I don't know why.
I said 1820.
1832.
1832. Okay.
And how many times has Billy Joel played the Garden?
36.
Incorrect.
I thought that was his 100th show at the Garden. I wrote down 100, thinking I thought it was the 100th show.
I might have blew it here. I said 356.
He's played 150 times.
150. Okay.
150 was his last show there.
Got it. All right. Well, I lost. Doesn't matter. I lost. I think Joe.
We only lost 50 on that one. So
Well, I only
he
lost
might be in
50
it.
on that one, and what was it? 1832. So I was
Yeah.
16 off there. So 16. That's 9, 3. So I'm 239 plus 50.
Danny's going to find a way to win it.
Yeah, I think Danny did win it. I am at. I'm at 289. That was my final score. Was 289.
We'll give Joe 10 off to explain to Danny what a huggy bomb is.
Oh,
I got 192.
Oh,
Danny won.
He got me. I had 210.
210. I had
Yeah.
289.
I'm the champion.
That's
Again.
The Seahawks question
the
got you.
Seahawks question got me. I wasn't sure on that.
Isn't a Huggy Bomb one of those little barrels, like with
For the
some type of
kids?
fruit juice here for the kids that you peel off the foil top?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
No, you take a
No,
sip
no,
out
no,
of
yeah,
it.
but then you got to take a sip out of it,
Uh-huh.
or pour it out if you don't want the sugar water, and then you fill whatever you pour out with vodka, and then you just slam the whole thing.
Oh gosh, no, I've never done that.
So you never did a Huggy Bomb,
No,
but you knew what a Huggy. But you
You
knew
knew
what
he was. He knew it.
They were
you know
Huggy.
what a Huggy was. I don't
Yeah.
think I even knew the Huggy
Yeah, I think you might,
term.
I think he might have. You both might have done one at Sam's graduation party.
no, I didn't. I wouldn't have.
I'm better than that.
I'm better than that.
I mean,
But it's a
I'm
temple.
not going to say it tastes delicious, but it's
It'll
fun.
get you there.
There was a bar in Buffalo. There was a bar in Buffalo that would sell them, like a little hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And we would just buy a whole bunch of them. Huggy bombs.
Really?
Then we started to just do them with, when we were out places, and now it's kind of incorporated into our little golf tournament. And I mean,
So the
remember the one year we couldn't find the Huggies?
Yeah.
I had like 12 adults driving
Looking.
all over looking
Well,
for Huggies.
I don't think
know
I
if it was COVID.
see them sold anywhere anymore. Do they sell them
They
at
don't
Walmart,
sell them at like the
BJ's.
dollar store.
BJ's?
Walmart, BJ.
I don't
sell
even
them by
think the
case.
dollar store has them.
They sell them by 3 packs in the dollar store.
Wow.
Do they really?
Okay.
Look at
Brady
you.
Brady likes the lemonade one, so I have to buy them every
All
once in
right.
a
So
while.
being from Buffalo, you're accustomed to Chevetta's chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like
and
Chevetta's chicken.
Loganberry.
Love Loganberry.
They serve it at Bill Gray's actually.
Loganberry
Juice.
juice. I don't know if I know.
It's so good.
Loganberry.
I remember I was in college, and my one of my suite mates was like, "What's this?" I said, "What are you talking about? It's Loganberry. He's from Albany." I said, it's Loganberry. I thought it was like every place.
No,
No, I thought so too.
No.
Have you had it before?
No, I don't think I have had Loganberry.
Oh,
I thought it was like a new flavor of beer somebody came out with.
In Joe's
Like a new
chub,
IPA.
in Joe's chubbier days, you could name a pizza place in Buffalo too, and he could tell you if it's good or bad.
Lenova.
there's
Well, then he can still tell you if it's good or bad.
Lenova's pretty
He can
good.
tell you if it's good or
Santoros.
bad.
I don't mind the Santoras.
We
And
have to go-
Buffalo,
we
I'm
have
a
to go
bit.
to
I'm,
Imperial all the time.
You know who's got great pizza? It ain't Gulp Maria's.
I've never had that.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes it excellent? Help describe it.
It's the crust, the sauce, everything.
Yeah.
It's
Listen, Buffalo, when it comes to food, Buffalo's the best.
Like my boss owns an Airbnb,
Yeah.
and we used to work in the office. The back office was the Airbnb on the other side of the office. So he'd have people come up from the South, and then these Alabama bumper stickers, and like they're Alabama fans. So I go, "Hey, where's a good place to get buffalo wings around here in pizza?" I go, "Anywhere." You're kidding. No. I go, anywhere.
for what they're used to.
Yeah.
And you
Anywhere.
could just pick.
I
any
go
local
there. I go,
place.
you cross the street, you go to this restaurant over here, you can go over here. You don't have to go to drive the Anchor Bar.
Right.
You just do it here.
That's that is true. That
And
is true.
There's hundreds. Of them.
Jameson lived in the South and hated the pizza.
It's amazing how bad the pizza is
Yeah, it
outside
is.
Western New
It
York.
really is.
Save New York City.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
You can get some good stuff down the East Coast a little bit, sometimes in Florida, but overall, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean they don't even
It's
have
transplants.
Yeah, and half the time it's like they don't like Buffalo. There's hundreds of pizza places, local pizza places, not like Domino's, right?
Right.
Papa John's.
I like that better. The local myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
like
I
that
mean,
way better.
My
Way
brother,
better.
my brother used to live in Virginia, and we go down there, and I'm like, this is just horrifying. Like it's almost like insulting. Like, I won't
Right.
even
And
find.
like you said, if you find a good pizza place somewhere outside of Western New York,
Yeah.
it's probably somebody from Rochester. Or
Yeah.
Buffalo.
So usually a
Yeah.
transplant
Yeah.
or from somebody from the
Yeah.
Northeast.
Like
What is Boston's pizza like? I don't know why that popped into my head, but I'm thinking another major Northeast.
I think it's kind of like New York thin style.
Yeah, I would think, but I don't know. Anyway, a little tangent. My brain just popped there. I did a Danny.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, your son's been talking about pizza for 45 minutes.
Yes,
so we're
he
all hungry
has.
now.
We're all hungry.
pizza
Before-
is the greatest food ever. Pizza.
It's complete. It's got everything you need.
Yeah.
It's got dairy.
Uh-huh.
It's got meat.
Do any of you not love it?
Oh, I do love pizza.
Love it.
Yeah, I do love pizza.
My wife's like, hey, we had pizza last. I go, yeah, so.
I've got.
I can eat pizza every day.
Yeah.
I would never.
Is there a drink or a challenge at the Geneseo fraternities that bears your name? The Occhino? Are people doing an Occhino? Or
Well, I don't. I know as of a few years ago, they still played a little game they called Occhino Slam.
Occhino? I can see. I
Okay, yeah.
screwed your name up again. I apologize.
Occhino Slam down at the fraternity. So
The Occhino Slam. Do these kids even know? So are you like a legend when you walk back
So,
in there?
well-
You're like old school?
I'm definitely old school, and I really
I meant the
don't.
movie.
No. Well, I'll tell one funny story about it that'll kind of when I actually went there, a lot of times we'd have a bunch of like fraternity parties and stuff, and then towards the end of the night, people would make their way up to the bars. You know what I mean?
Right.
The upperclassmen and stuff, or depending on which bar, anybody can get in. But like a lot of times, I just stay back at the fraternity and hang out there. And then I actually like invented a game or two, right? Just drinking type games. And, they would play them. And I remember the one time I graduated and, I get texts from guys. They're like, oh, they're still playing. They still play. And then they're like, oh, some of the, the sororities and stuff play. And I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like I haven't been there in like 12 years. Right?
This is amazing.
So
This is amazing.
I'm the alumni president for my fraternity, which is just another thing that
Do you have like any time to do anything?
No, I know
Yeah.
there's times that I like, why do I do this stuff? But I like it. I mean, it really was, Geneseo was like a super special time in my life. And I grew up there and had more fun than I probably should have. But so anyway, we are planning the 20-year reunion, 20 or 25-year reunion for the fraternity.
Okay.
And me and like four of the fraternity guys have a hotel. We're there for the weekend. And I get there super early, and like I had to help a big part in planning the whole party, right? All the alumni had kicked in money and all this stuff. And I go to the front, I go to the hotel, to the lobby to check in. And I'm like, yeah, I got a reservation. And she's like, all right, name. And I'm like, Joe Occhino. And she's like, oh, Occhino, like Occhino Slam. And I was just like, yeah. Right. And I
His
was
wife
just
just
like,
rolls her eyes.
no, I know. I was like, that's kind of weird, right? Like she had actually played the game
Occhino Slam.
Occhino Slam, and just obviously it's not the most common name in the world, right? So like,
you need to market that. Get Mattel or somebody behind that.
I have a few other ideas that are probably more marketable
Okay.
than that. It's not the greatest game. I think Shot Quick Draw would probably be a little a little more marketable. I don't know if you guys all,
But the Occhino Slam has lasted for decades.
it has, but I know me and my buddy Tom from Buffalo started a game called Shot Quick Draw. You guys know.
Yeah. Quick draw. Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to play volleyball at a bar, right, in Buffalo. And the one time we're just, we're pre-gaming and hanging out. And I'm like, I said, I bet I could pick the winning number before you can pick it. And he's like, pick it or not pick it. Or like, oh, well, let's each pick a number, and whoever's number comes in first, you lose. You have to buy the shots, right? You have to buy a shot for each of us. So we played it and I won. So he had to buy me the shot. He wound up losing, I think, 9 in a row.
Oh my
right?
God.
In a row. So he's
How
down.
drunk are you guys?
Well, we were I think his wife, probably his girlfriend at the time, she played too, but she obviously drove us home. But yeah, we were 18 shots he had bought in a row.
Oh my God.
So then we're like, wow, man, that game's great, right? You know how the balls curve in
they
and
curve,
come up.
right.
So then we would start playing, we'd go out with our other friends and then we'd start to play, right? Now we have 4 or 5 people involved and everybody gets a number. And if you lose, you're buying the shot for everybody.
Yeah.
And it starts getting super exciting, right? Like now, because you lose 2 or 3 times in a night, and you're down 15, 16 shots. I've played it with as many as 16, 17 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you need a mortgage to get that many shots.
Yeah. I've played a few times where they're like, you guys have every shot class that the bar owns. You gotta bring them back over. I've played it we've played it in places where the waitress is playing, the chef. We had the chef once in Batavia playing. We played one time in Batavia.
You are competitive, man. You love it.
We were in Batavia for a hockey tournament. Guys, not for the kids. And not Batavia, Jamestown. No. And there's this guy, we're getting all loud. There's like 9 guys and we're all like screaming, let's go, right, here it comes. Your number comes in, everyone's screaming. And there's this local guy that's like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? So we like explain the game. He's like, can I play? We're like, sure, jump in, right? So
can I play?
We play for like another,
it's like the playground.
Yeah, like another hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right. And this guy's like, he wins every time. His number never comes in. And the guy says, hey man, I feel bad. I gotta go home. And we're like, yeah, just go. He's like, I came up after work for 1 beer. And he's like, I've been here for like an hour and a half. He's like, I've had like 8 shots with you guys. I've been drinking beer. He's like, my wife's going to kill me. I was just like, you don't have to feel bad about it. You had a good time. But I mean, it is weird that you went for 1 beer.
These are the crazy things as hockey parents, that when we're on an out of town tournament, we come up with crazy shit. What did we play in Pittsburgh? 3-5-7. It's the third bottle in the well, the 5th bottle in the well, and the 7th bottle, and they mix them all together, and we just do the shot.
Oh, Kevin.
We do. Look at his face.
We do the game.
Yeah.
The game's fun. It's shot roulette.
Jesus.
3-5-7's rough.
How you guys have ever survived all this, I don't really know.
How we all didn't get COVID because we're immune to it with all the alcohol.
We were young too. Younger.
2 years ago.
All right. For Joe Occhino. Did I say it right? There
Yeah.
we go. There it is. Man, interesting, Joe. What a life. The Occhino Slam. That's legendary.
It's fun.
Danny and I went to Fisher. I don't have any. I'm not even in the Hall of Fame. Danny's in the Hall of Fame. I don't have the Occhino Slam. I got nothing.
You got the piss cup on the shelf.
Oh, yeah. I did Fisher.
Fisher's adding hockey. You guys are getting a
They
hockey
are
program.
adding hockey. Yes. They're doing a little recruiting right now, I think.
Hopefully some recruiting in my neighborhood.
That would be good. For Kevin, for Joe, for Danny, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
Well, since I left California, baby, things have gotten worse. It's a land of opportunity for me. It's just a curse. Tell that judge he make us feel. I'm tired of